The other bird sister, Suisui, is finally here, and she is an insane negative status support who can heal a lot of damage, give you a lot of buffs, and increase your negative status effect stacks. So today's video is a quick guide on how to play Suisui. And if you're like me and running low on Lunites, then you'll definitely want to check out EnjoyGM. It's a top-up platform that I've been using lately, and they've got some of the best prices for in-game currency, especially for Wuthering Waves, with discounts of up to 20% off. So click the link below now and claim an extra 8% off coupon for new users. That could bring the 6/480 pack down to around 81 USD. It's super easy to use too. Just enter your UID and server, and your Lunites show up in minutes. No logins, no complicated steps, no hassle. EnjoyGM is also PCI DSS certified, and their Wuthering Waves reviews are seriously solid. I've tested it myself, and it's safe, legit, and honestly just a really easy way to save some money if you're topping up anyway. So if you want to stock up on Lunites before the new banner drops, click the link in the description or pinned comment, and start saving with EnjoyGM. Thanks to EnjoyGM for sponsoring this video. Suisui is a Glacier Rectifier support unit who scales off energy regen and HP. Similar to Yang Xuanling, her overall kit revolves around her two stances, Zephyr stance and Drizzle stance. However, it really doesn't matter what stance she's in post the first rotation because you end up in Drizzle stance via intro anyway. Switching into Drizzle stance is done once you filled your first fort via her enhanced resonance skill. You want to make sure you're in Drizzle stance before outroing because a lot of her buffs come from that stance. So going over her first fort, Zephyr stance. It can hold up to 120 points, and you need to fill this fort in order to unlock her enhanced resonance skill. You can gain 40 points on resonance skill and 35 on basic, heavy, special dodge or dodge counter. Once full, you can use your enhanced resonance skill to pull in enemies and change into a second fort, Drizzle stance. Fort 2 holds up to 600 points, called Floral Epistle. Floral Epistle is important because for every 200 points, you will gain an additional buff on outro while in Ceaseless Landscape, which is her resonance liberation. You can fill Fort 2 by 100 points on resonance skill and 102 on special dodge, basic or heavy attack. In order to cast her special dodge, all you need to do is attack and then press the dodge button. It is very similar to Hiyuki's EI stance. Once Drizzle stance is max, use her resonance liberation, Song of Farathair, to consume Fort 2 and deploy the Ceaseless Landscape. This field grants an increase in maximum negative status stacks, ignores defense by 6%, and shreds havoc resistance by 12%. When in Ceaseless Landscape, she gains the following buffs, depending on how many Fort 2 points she consumes. With 200, she enters Roaming Transcendent state, which grants interruption resistance. With 400 stacks, on-field resonators gain a damage bonus increase, and with 600 stacks, she will perform Plume Step and grants all active resonators additional buffs whenever they outro. When any resonator outros in Ceaseless Landscape with Roaming Transcendent state and Plume Step active, they gain Undulating Mist, which grants them an additional attack increase whenever they consume a negative status or Electro Rage stack. So basically, you just want to get max stacks, and then she heals, grants Interrupt Resist, and grants resonators an additional attack buff. Her intro skill pulls in nearby enemies, applies Glacial Chafe, and automatically enters her second fort. As for her outro, she grants 25% damage increase to all resonators for 30 seconds. Suisui has two inherent skills. Inherent skill 1, Sky Over Water, heals the active resonator by a percentage of Suisui's max HP whenever an intro or enhanced skill hits an enemy. Additionally, she restores 18 Concerto and 13 Resonance Energy and increases her own crit rate by 80% and glacial damage by 240%. Her inherent skill 2, Glimmering Gold, is a revive mechanic, so when an ally dies, they are healed by 50% of Suisui's max HP, while Suisui also loses that same amount of HP. However, her HP loss cannot go below 1. This effect can be triggered once every 10 minutes. For teams, she works with basically anyone as a universal healer and buffer, but you'll get the most out of her in negative status teams. Her premier teams at the moment would definitely be with her sister Yang and Chisa, as both use negative status to maximize their damage, while Hiyuki also gets an insane upgrade in her premium team due to how fast Suisui's rotations are. And then obviously in the future, resonators like Qingxiao and Hisun will definitely benefit from Suisui as well. Now moving on to her basic rotations. The idea is to essentially have max stacks of second fort before casting her resonance liberation and outro. Suisui has some insanely fast rotations, which makes for a great DPS increase. For the first rotation, you want a basic until Fort 1 is full, then cast an enhanced resonance skill to switch into a Fort 2, then basic attack again until Fort 2 is full, and then you want to echo into resonance liberation, and then outro into the next resonator. The beauty of Suisui is that once this happens, all resonators gain buff effects as long as the resonance liberation field is still up. On subsequent rotations, you will intro, which automatically puts you into Fort 2, and then basic to fill it up again, echo into resonance liberation, and outro again, rinse and repeat. For echoes and build in general, you want to make sure Suisui has 260% energy regen and as much HP as possible to maximize her buffs. The 5-piece Song of Feather Trace would definitely be her best set in a 3-4-3-1-1 setup, with 3 cost Forbidden Bastion as your main echo. For your 4 costs, you want healing bonus, 2 energy regen 3 costs, or you can swap one if you are overcapping on ER for HP, and then 2 HP percent 1 costs. For subs, you want energy regen, HP percent, and flat HP. For her weapons, First Light Heralds is definitely her best in slot, followed by any other energy regen rectifier like Call of Abyss or Variation. Alright, that's it for the guide on how to play Suisui. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching everyone, and have fun with our second bird sister, Suisui. I'll catch you guys in the next video.